Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
It's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. What do you mean by that, sir? Why exactly was Diddy, one of the most powerful men in music, spending 2 days with a 15-year-old Justin Bieber? And why couldn't they talk about what they were doing? Those are some very good questions, and the more you look into it, the weirder it gets. See, Diddy is no stranger to questionable relationships, and today he's at the center of multiple lawsuits and shocking accusations. People have dissected his connections to countless celebrities over the years, but what's rarely discussed is the relationship he built with a teenage Justin Bieber. Pop star Justin Bieber has been in the spotlight since he was a teenager. His rise to fame started in 2008 when music manager Scooter Braun discovered him on YouTube at just 13 years old.
And I know this much is true, baby, you have become my addiction. I'm so strung out on you, baby, you.
Recognizing his raw talent, Scooter Braun brought a 14-year-old Justin Bieber to Atlanta, where he eventually met Usher. Together, Scooter Braun and Usher created a joint venture record label and officially signed Justin Bieber.
And he's always kidding around as he is right now. And that was the beginning of history. Is that right?
What? Yeah. Yes.
Justin Bieber and Usher quickly built a strong bond. Usher took Justin under his wing, helping guide his career as he transitioned from an internet sensation to a global star. By 2010, Justin Bieber's career skyrocketed, selling out stadiums, topping charts, and becoming one of the biggest pop stars in the world at a very young age. But while most people remember his swift rise, what often goes overlooked is who he was surrounded by in those early years. And that's where Diddy comes into the equation. See, most of the adults around Justin Bieber at the time were directly connected to his music career. Usher, for example, wasn't just a mentor. He was someone who gave Bieber a blueprint for navigating the industry, helping him transition from a viral sensation to a polished artist. But as far as Diddy's involvement, well, that was a little different. The moment Diddy found out about Justin Bieber, he took a keen interest in him, unlike Usher, who mentored Bieber from a musical standpoint. Diddy's fascination seemed a little extra. It wasn't just about the music. It was about access, influence, and something else that didn't quite fit the mold of a typical industry cosign. And to make it even more intriguing, Diddy promised Bieber something most 15-year-olds could only dream of: a white Lamborghini Aventador.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know.
At the time of this video, Diddy was promoting his album Last Train to Paris, a project from his musical trio, Dirty Money, which included Diddy himself, Kalena Harper, and Don Richard. Because Justin at the time was rapidly rising to fame, a lot of people assumed Diddy's interest in him was just a promotional move, aligning himself with the hottest new star to stay relevant. But here's where things get interesting. This wasn't the first time Diddy took a young singer under his wing. Back in the 90s, Usher, as a teenager, actually lived with Diddy in New York while learning the music business.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
And now, years later, history seemed to be repeating itself. Except this time, the new teenage star was Justin Bieber. By early 2010, Diddy and Justin Bieber started appearing together more frequently at major music industry events. Their relationship seemed to grow over time, and most people didn't think much of it. After all, Diddy himself described their connection as just a friendship. About a year later, Justin and Diddy were seen together in the studio, where Diddy questioned why Bieber hadn't been reaching out to him lately. This was at the peak of Justin Bieber's initial success.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
Yeah.
Starting to act different, huh?
No,
you ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
But Diddy's involvement with Bieber went beyond just public appearances. He wasn't just co-signing the hottest new artist. He was bringing Justin into his personal world, and he made sure everyone knew just how much he valued their relationship.
In the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
In an interview with Jimmy Kimmel from 2011, Diddy publicly praised Bieber, but the way he talked about him left people with more questions than answers. Diddy publicly embraced Justin as one of the greatest kids you could ever know. But what exactly did he mean by that? Well, only P. Diddy knew. In this 2011 interview with Jimmy Kimmel, Diddy, while Bieber was still a teenager, jokingly stated that they didn't discuss what they do together behind the scenes on TV. But that wasn't all. He also mentioned that Bieber had access to his house, a statement that, in hindsight, raises even more questions.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
It was all laughter in the moment, but looking back, some people have started to question what Diddy really meant. As their relationship continued to grow, Justin Bieber and Diddy were seen together more frequently. Then, in 2015, at the age of 21, Diddy allegedly gave Bieber his first shot of alcohol, an interaction that was caught on camera.
You got 21, man. 21 and we have our first shot. Justin Bieber's first shot ever. Do not believe everything you hear. Come and have a drink with your big. You can't make it around this.
A year later, in March 2016, Diddy was still staying close to Justin. In a resurfaced video from his 22nd birthday, Diddy gave Bieber a Bad Boy Entertainment jacket. Justin kinda looked out of it, but he still smiled as he accepted a gift. In 2020, Justin Bieber sat down for a raw and emotional interview with Zane Lowe. He opened up about everything: his past self, destructive behavior, the pressures of fame, and how his life had changed since marrying Hailey Baldwin. But one moment in particular in this interview stood out. At one point, Justin Bieber broke down in tears talking about protecting Billie Eilish. He reflected how hard it was being young in the music industry, how people claimed to love him, only to turn their backs in an instant. He didn't want Billie Eilish to go through what he did. He wanted to be there for her, to make sure she didn't lose herself the way he almost did.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn. And
Justin knew exactly what it was like to be young, famous, and surrounded by powerful people. He saw firsthand how certain relationships in the industry can shape your future, for better or worse. And now, years later, he was looking back at his own experience, hoping Billie Eilish doesn't end up in the same situations he did.
People take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
The moment was eye-opening. Justin has been famous since he was a kid, constantly surrounded by adults, including P. Diddy. Maybe this was his way of subtly exposing that something did happen to him. Maybe looking out for Billie Eilish in this situation was him making sure history doesn't repeat itself. That same year, Justin dropped a song titled Lonely. On this song, he reflected on the dark side of growing up in the spotlight, how fame isolated him, how his mistakes were put on display, and how the industry watched him struggle without stepping in. Everybody knows my past now, like my house was always made of glass, and maybe that's the price you pay for the money and fame at an early age. And everybody saw me sick, and it felt like no one gave a shit. They criticized the things I did as an idiot kid. Was Justin speaking generally about the pressures of fame, or was he alluding to something or someone from his past? You would decide. And then came Diddy's arrest. The entire industry was shocked. There had always been whispers, allegations, quiet talk behind the scenes about Diddy's behavior, but this time the feds came down on him. One of the people many expected to speak out was Justin Bieber due to the close relationship he had with Diddy, but instead he chose to stay silent. According to unverified reports, Justin has been keeping his distance from Diddy ever since his arrest. A source even claimed he's been advised to stay as far away as possible. Despite his history with Diddy, Bieber reportedly wants nothing to do with him. Now, while these claims haven't been confirmed, they wouldn't really be surprising. With everything going on, Justin has been focusing on his personal life, his family, and his newborn son. But behind the scenes, sources say this has been hard for him to process. His past with Diddy runs deep, and now it seems like he's doing everything he can to separate himself from it. And the question is, did P. Diddy do something to Justin? If so, what exactly did he do? This entire conversation is of course speculative, because from the outside looking in, we can never truly know. But what we do know is that Justin Bieber has been mistreated by many adults in the music industry. Over the years, he's been involved in countless situations where powerful figures have said and done questionable things to him as a kid. There are a few instances where Justin was actually essayed by well-known figures, stories that most people don't even know about. What makes it even worse? Well, some of these were caught on camera. Two in particular stand out, and the first one was an inappropriate conversation during his interview with James Corden.
Can I say this? Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Watching a grown man make suggestive remarks to a 16-year-old kid like this Absolutely disgusting and inappropriate. The second incident involves actress Jenny McCarthy, who literally essayed Justin Bieber on live television. This happened back in 2012 at the American Music Awards. She came up behind him, grabbed his neck, forced a kiss on him, and even grabbed his butt. Now the question is, how exactly did her and so many other adults get away with the, shit they did to Justin? Wouldn't be too crazy because, the entertainment industry has always been a demonic place. What makes this even worse is that when she was asked about it in an interview, McCarthy admitted to what she did. She even joked about it, calling it cougar grape.
How have you been enjoying the night so far?
Great. I just got to neck Justin Bieber and grab his butt. I want some Bieber fever, and I want a Bieber rash.
I want it all.
It'd be like cougar rape.
Again, I have absolutely no clue how these adults got away with treating Justin Bieber like this, who was just a kid at the time. These are things that Justin Bieber had to go through, and in a lot of ways, it explains his behavior over the years. Because when you really think about it, some of the ways he acted could have been a trauma response to what was done to him. That's just my personal theory. Justin has always been seen as the problem. When Justin lashed out, when he was reckless, when he seemed out of control, he was ridiculed. Every mistake he made was turned into a headline. Every outburst was labeled as entitlement or bad behavior. But what if it was deeper than that? What if the real story wasn't about a spoiled pop star acting out, but a kid who grew up too fast in an industry that took his innocence away from him? I personally don't think that's too far-fetched because when you kind of take a step back and look at the full picture, it all starts to make sense. Justin might have not been some rebellious pop star going through a, so-called bad boy phase. He was a kid who had been surrounded by powerful figures in the industry, some of whom clearly didn't have his best interests at heart. And that, of course, brings us to Diddy. From the very beginning, Diddy took a special interest in Justin. The extravagant gifts, the 48-hour mentorship, it all seemed like an industry cosign at the time. But looking back, was it really just that, or was there something deeper going on behind the scenes? Then years later, we see Bieber break down in an interview, talking about wanting to protect another young artist, Billie Eilish, from the same things he went through. And now, in the wake of Diddy's arrest, he's reportedly distancing himself completely, staying silent, and doing everything he can to separate himself from that past. It's not hard to see why. Whatever happened behind closed doors, Justin clearly wants no part of it anymore. The truth is, we may never know. But what we do know is that Justin Bieber's rise to fame wasn't as glorious as it seemed. And when you connect the dots, his silence on Diddy might just speak louder than any statement ever could. If you made it this far, you can't leave this video without dropping a like. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're new here, my name is Blacky Speaks. Nice to meet you. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the family. Any thoughts on this conversation surrounding Diddy, Justin Bieber, and what Diddy do to him? Really curious to hear what you guys have to say, and I'll catch you in the comment section below. But most importantly of all, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out. Deuces.